Hi guys, welcome to the doctor's office again. My name is Dr. Teddy and this is my assistant today,
Mr. Floos.
Mr. Floos himself. So today, our patient is going to be the Percy Jackson series. This series is such one close to my heart because I read every single book and even the continuation series, and I am so disappointed that it did not reach its potential that it should have.
Nowhere near, man. Like, and I also read like all the books too. Like, legit, this book is what made me like reading. I didn't really like reading until this guy put a gun in my throat and was just like, "You reading this book?" I loved it. All right, and just to see this on the movie and just see all the things that it went wrong, I'm like, did you guys even try? Like, come on.
Honestly, in my opinion, it should have been up there with Harry Potter. It should have been one of the greats. That it should have been up there. But let's get into it. Let's see where it went wrong. So, in order for this movie franchise to ever make a comeback, it has to start over. All the actors, the kid actors that were supposed to be the leading members of this have all grown up. They're all moved on. Alexander Daddario is now doing Baywatch. Logan Lerman is now in war movies. It's just everyone's scattered, and
especially everyone's older too.
Yeah,
like, this like granted, I get like because in the book like it starts off when they're like 12 years old, and I could see how like producers probably wouldn't want to do that like directly like that because like one, child actors are just difficult to work with for the most part, and they don't have like as much experience as like the older actors do. So I could see the hesitancy there, but like everybody who was in the original, like they're already like almost 30 at this point. Like there's no way. Like at least try to get them around the teenager range. Oh, like if you can't get all the way down to 12.
Plus, with a start with the franchise, you're able to fix everything that went wrong, and there are a few things that went wrong. So the next building block for a good franchise is going to be. What the heck? Oh, there
you can't cut it mid-operation, man.
All right, you gotta choose your cutback time. The problem with Percy Jackson, where it came out way too late for the Harry Potter franchise people to hook onto, and there was way too the thing was way too young for the Twilight people to catch on to. It was a golden moment where readers were waiting for their stuff to go on screen, and they just missed their opportunity window, and it was kind of what dragged them down in the first place. Mm-hmm. But what's good about this is those same readers are now having kids, and especially today is a great nostalgia era where like people from like want to see stuff from their kids, from their childhood, be put back on screen. Like we have all these Power Rangers, we have all the Transformers are still going, sadly.
For some reason, it's still going.
But we still have like stuff from our childhood, like, from the '90s and everything. Our
we had like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like that was a perfect time to do it too.
So from here, I give them another 5 years. It's a great opportunity. This is the time where they need to strike. Another thing. You can't fight the story when the story is one of the parts that people love about. And where Percy Jackson first fought the story is they changed characters and their motivations where it would just make no sense down the line. First culprit was Hades, where he's one of like the funniest characters in the Percy Jackson series because he's always misunderstood. You hear Hades, you automatically think bad guy. And even the people in the book felt subjected to that because like we got a bad guy going around, we gotta go check out Hades because he's obviously the guy. When you figure out he's not the bad guy, that he's also misunderstood and he's also on your side at some point, you're like, what? This is pretty crazy. And plus, then they introduced the real bad guy, which is like the devil of all devils, Kronos, who's not even mentioned in the first book, and is the driving force of the entire series. It was a big letdown for the first movie that came out.
Like speaking of which, like I do give like the movie like a little bit of credit because when it got to the sequel, they did a lot of stuff right, and by right I mean like they fixed all the like a lot of the problems of the first one. Like they introduced like Kronos as like the original bad guy, and like because that's what he in the first movie they made Hades the bad guy, right?
Hades the bad guy.
Yeah, which was completely wrong. Which I did like what they did in the book, which Jesse touched upon. Where like you would assume Hades, Lord of the Underworld, would be the bad guy. But it's not the case. Like, he's a god just like the rest of the Olympian gods.
Who just got a shitty job then.
Yeah.
He's really just like, I hate my job, but it's my job.
But then he's also trying to protect the rest of the gods because he's one as well from the Titans. And it's the Titans that are trying to overthrow the gods. And they use, like, Luke in order to get that, like, to get their self situated with that. And they did touch upon that in the second movie. But my god, man, they just, like... the first movie would just say, oh, the Hades. Everybody assumes he's a bad guy. Let's make him the bad guy. Like, no. Like, you're just making a generic villain at that point.
And they also messed up the other gods too, because they made them like they took away their personalities and the characteristics that you fall in love with in the books, and they just gave them generic Hollywood, like, we're gods, we're above you, we can't interact with you. They made this some weird random rule where, like, gods couldn't talk to their kids. When throughout the series, they can only do that because they were so, like, omnipresent in the world that they can't focus all their power in one area without killing everybody in that area. And it's just like, it made more sense than just like completely blocking off. They didn't even mention a prophecy, which is the prophecy is the kicking off point for the entire franchise, where it's like one of the children of the three main gods will decide the fate of the world, and you hear nothing about that. So you just hear like, so we're just following this kid around for like nothing. And like,
they're just like, oh, he's just like the son of Poseidon. Like, that's cool. That doesn't really mean much unless if you got like the prophecy.
It's like I get you don't want to do a direct like book to movie translation, and you do want to take creative like chances and stuff. They did a very well job with having Nathan Fillion as Hermes, which is a character that didn't have that much spotlight in the book, but like the fact that he had a great actor just enhanced what screen time they had was a great idea at that point. All right. Next block we have, you got to respect the canon when going creative. The thing that I felt like it took away from the movies, that they didn't have a prophecy every movie. And the thing is, the prophecies were like the big driving point for this lore, because it was the prophecies are above the gods. The gods can't interfere with the prophecies, and whatever happens is going to happen. And that's why it builds attention, like it gives you hints what's going to happen, and you finally figure out, whoa, that was that line meant. And I was just like, it feels like there's a lacking presence in that in the entire franchise.
And also too, I don't understand why like you would be like hesitant to put that in there, especially like in this day and age where like everybody's just making sequels. Which I understand why they're making sequels, because if the first one did well, it's a safe investment to make another one. And like if you throw in this prophecy, you're basically like world building to set up for sequels, assuming like it does well in the first one.
You also gotta respect characters for why we love them. Like Annabeth should have been blonde for the first movie. There was such an emphasis on that throughout the entire book series that like, how could you not have her blonde? It's like having Superman without the S. It's like having Batman who wears gray sometimes. It's just like it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Like why would you take away one of their signatures? But I do have to give them props for changing characters for the better. Like they had Grover. Was done really well. He was funny. He was actually, when he had time to act during the action scenes, it was more believable. Tyson was done great, because I didn't know how they were going to translate Tyson, the blundering Cyclops, into like an actual character, and he was done really well in the second movie. And also Nathan Fillion. But you just got to watch out what characters to enhance, what characters to cut, because the more you cut, the more audience you're going to cut. Alright, this had a large potential for the franchise, where you have 5 books with just one character, Percy Jackson, and then another 5 books where he's a part of another adventure, where you have such potential to have like 10 solid movies, or today's standards, you might split them up in part 1, part 2.
Okay.
You might have like,
there's 5 movies. I don't think they split 5 movies into part 1 and part 2, right?
Maybe, we never could. But
the potential's here for like all of it. Like if you can do the first one right, then you have the material for 4 or possibly like 9 other movies that you can make off of this. Because the fan base is already there. These books are pretty popular. Like a lot of people have read them, which is obviously why the author's doing pretty well right now. So you have your fan base. You just need to get it done like correctly on the film, and then you'll have yourself set. You'll be printing money at a certain point.
Definitely true. And so that's our rendition for Percy Jackson. My name is Dr. Teddy. Please like, subscribe, comment any future patients you want us to look at. Thank you for our patients and my assistant, Dr. Floofs today, or assistant Floofs. And thank you and have a great day.